7:21 to order. Janelle, please note that all members are present, with Denny being here virtually. So let's please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with that one item on it.
So moved. Second.
And first and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, the one item on the list here, we have Harold to present the superintendent candidates and continue with the process. Take it away.
Okay, thank you. First of all, before I share with you the candidate information, I want to express my appreciation to you for being school board members. February is School Board Appreciation Month, so I hope that everyone in the community can express themselves for the work that you do as well. Before I give you a list of the candidates which are identified on the first list I give you, are identified as candidate A, B, C, D, and so forth, I want to share with you some statistical things with the process. We had a total of 12 applications. 4 applications came from outside of Minnesota. There were 7 male applicants, 5 female applicants. Superintendent experience, 2 of the candidates have experience in Minnesota. One is currently a superintendent in Minnesota. The other one is not practicing, hasn't been for the past few years. And then one was also a superintendent from out of state. Doctorate degrees, 5 of the 6 that we're recommending tonight have doctorate degrees. This is highly unusual for us to have this many doctorates in a group this size. I can also tell you that we're doing the search also in New Ulm at this time. And at New Ulm, theirs closed last Friday. I made a presentation to their board on Thursday and shared with them that I've recommended that they extend the application period for about 2 more weeks till the end of February, simply because we had only a few candidates at that point. We have had 2 that applied the next day, which was the final day, and we've had a couple more interested since it's been expanded. So hopefully we'll get in New Ulm about the same number that you've had. This is a very, very good number in terms of applications. So the search team, Mr. Waltman and myself, have criteria that we use in determining who it is we're going to recommend for you for a round 1 interview. Those criteria include, number 1, the candidate's training and experience. Number 2, recommendations, and we also do reference checks beyond recommendations that are submitted. We match the current and previous employment record with factors that have been identified through the online survey and through individual input that we've gotten from people in the New Prague area. We've matched 10, we've also matched the 10 desired characteristics that you approved the last time I was here, and during our phone interview with the candidates to see what we think is a close match to those 10 characteristics. And then the last one, familiarity with Minnesota school operations, procedures, finance, and so forth. So those are the characteristics that we took into account in preparing our list for your approval. And I will hand this out now, and I'll follow that. And once you have approved this, I'll follow that up with the same thing with names. Additionally. You have to go to both sides here. I did.
Thank you. Oop. Thanks.
Okay, there's the list for you, and I know you've had an opportunity to look at the actual materials that they've submitted. I've only included 4, 5, 6 statements that have to do with each of the candidates. On that list will be their training and degrees that they have, the licenses that they have, some comments about their experiences, and other things that were included in their application materials. If you approve this list, and when you've approved this list, I will give you another list that will have the names attached to that, and when I give you that list, I'll also include what their current assignment is. Well, if you want to take a look at that, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer those.
And so when you say approve the list, we would be locked into our first interviews based upon the list. If we give us additional information.
These would be the 6 for round 1 interviews.
Based upon the time we had to review the applications and things like that, based upon the people I'm interested in, I don't remember all their credentials. So, so I feel fairly uncomfortable locking myself into a list and excluding people from it
Get it louder.
based on calling them A, B, C, and D without knowing, based upon the previous
Yeah,
research we were
louder.
doing, reviewing their packets, if that makes sense.
You can't share the name until you've approved the list.
Would there be a descriptor that you'd be looking for that would maybe help you, Dan?
Well, like I'd need to go back to the folders to figure,
No, I mean, like, what their current role is, or something like that? Or no?
So basically I took my notes based upon
Right.
names of who I'm interested in based on that,
Yeah.
and the credentials are the least useful. They were all doctors almost. They were, so it's pretty hard to say, based upon the other parts of their applications, cover letters and things like that, what level of interest you have on them based upon calling
Always
them a
too loud
letter.
enough.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, could I make a comment? Yeah, I think that the process that we're going through is a good process. I think we need to trust Harold and Ed that they are doing their jobs, matching the candidates to our requirements and doing reference checks and as well as phone interviews with the candidates. So that's my perspective on it, and that's why we hired them, so to speak, to help us out. So that's just my comment.
Yeah, and I do agree it's very helpful and such, but there was quite a bit of stuff I found very interesting in their cover letters, how they presented themselves, and some of the key things they said I cannot tie to any of the descriptors on this list. And so, if we're not going to be able to use any of our pre-preparation time in order to determine whether or not who we want to interview, I feel it was a lot of wasted time because we can't tie it to the list of the pre-preparation work we also did to validate the opinions on who we're interested in.
I mean, I would agree with what Sandy said. I mean, we're here. I know that we had a list of 12 that we went through. I personally can identify the people that are really, by looking at this list, I can identify that it includes my top preferences based upon this list, and plus at the same time, I do appreciate your recommendation. That's why we've hired you. So, any other comments or anything like that?
When I sat down and went through all of the folders, I took the information that you sent us with the criteria that you looked for. I wrote down training experience, recommendations, references, so that's what I based my notes on, so that I was looking for the same things that you brought up, so I know exactly what I was looking for, so I'm okay with all this.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, plus you've already done some reference checks too, haven't you?
Yes, we did.
Yes, so which we haven't been able to do, personally, so.
I believe you did phone interviews with everybody as well.
Correct.
Can I ask a question? There was one of the folders that didn't have any reference letters in there.
Pardon?
There was one of the folders that didn't have any printed reference letters in there. Is that because he didn't send them? He or she, I don't even know who it was. Okay.
Any other comments? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion to approve this list to move forward.
So move.
Second.
And first and second, any other comments or discussion?
Can't vote on names that I don't know.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next step in the process is to have the names attached.
Thank you.
These are the candidates that we will be interviewing. Whoops, 1 second.
You're gonna give me two again.
Oh,
It's my lucky day.
okay, the first candidate on that list is Jeff Horton. And Jeff is currently the superintendent at GFW and has been since 2020. Prior to that, he was assistant superintendent in the Duluth area and is working on many projects in GFW now, including looking at the possibility of a new building process. Second candidate, Andy Volmuth. He's a principal at Normandale Elementary School now and has been there since 2007. Third candidate is Brenda Demaline. I don't know if I can pronounce that correctly. She's currently the Director of Teaching and Learning in Cambridge ICENTI and has been doing that particular assignment since 2018, but she has had several different assignments there in past years as well. On the back side, Paul Henn. Paul Henn is currently the Director of Learning Services and the Assistant Elementary Principal in New Ulm. He's been in New Ulm since 2017 and again has served several different functions, combined functions during the time that he has been there. Sarah Knudsen is the next candidate. She is a special education director in Winona and has been doing that since 2018. And the last candidate is Dana Miller, and she's the executive director of teaching and learning in Wayzata, which is an assignment she's had only since 2021. But they have assigned her several different things over the past several years that she's been in the Wayzata district. Titles change as times change. Okay? Then, what we also need to do this evening is we also need to talk about the candidate folders again. This is a sample of a candidate folder that each of you are going to get. It will have in it all of their application materials, the questions for round one that you will be asking, and the questions for round one that the community committee will ask. Each of you and each community committee member will get one of these folders to have to review again prior to the interview process on February 22nd when we meet. I will deliver these packets to you sometime on Monday or, well, for sure Tuesday, but probably Monday afternoon sometime. Oh, that's right, President's Day. I will deliver them on Tuesday, early, very early. Questions about that? All right. Then, the last thing we really need to do is we need to talk about the possible interview schedule. Again, this is my last handout now. I think I sent you
Do we
email.
have this already? Is this what he's handing out?
We have them.
We actually,
Harold, I think you're handing something out.
we
We
actually have it
already.
already. Yeah.
These?
Yep.
I just wanted to comment for you. I thought it was interesting. I started doing this in 2013 after I had retired in New Ulm. And you hired the current superintendent in 2013. That top page is the schedule from 2013. I just thought I'd do that just as a comparison for you. And that schedule would work, but as you can see, the schedule starts at about 8:30 in the morning, and it's not completed until sometime after 6:15. However, I've also given you a couple of other option calendars or schedules on the attached sheet. One titled Option 1 would start about 12 noon, and it would be done around 9:30, something like that, when you as a board would decide which candidate to invite for a second round 2 interview. On the back side of that sheet is the Option 2, which is a staggered schedule. That's kind of popular in other places that we have been doing searches. And there's a way there for candidates to go from one interview to another. And that particular plan there would have the candidate meet with the community committee first, and then with the school board second. It would start about 12 o'clock because we do need to do a little bit of in-service as to what you can and can't do during an interview. And we would have the first candidate coming in on that sheet at about 12:30, as you can see. And it still doesn't get, the day gets long, and it'll last till 9:30 before you can make a final decision. So any of those are possibilities. Whatever you wish to do, we'll make it work.
Any comments initially? Mine is starting in the afternoon and going till 9 personally, just so I can utilize some additional hours of the day, but.
I agree. I agree with that.
And plus, I'm not sure about, I mean, there's teachers and stuff that are part of the community group and staff members, so,
I'd rather start at noon.
okay. And how about that,
12:30,
how about the
whatever.
staggered schedule? Does that one seem fine to you guys?
That's fine with me.
It's fine.
Okay.
Staggered
So we're
schedule
thinking
works for everyone?
staggered, yeah, staggered noon start time or, would be great.
And I will be sending you a list of questions for you to ask that first round. Remember, the second round of questions come from you. And what we will do, when I send you that list of questions, I'll have a person assigned to it also. So it goes a little faster and more smoothly that way.
I was gonna bring up a question. So you said you were going to give us that packet of information on Tuesday, the day before. Would it be possible to be this Friday, and so we'd have the weekend to review?
I would think we
things,
could.
Instead of doing it till Tuesday? Because I
I'd
would
rather have
appreciate that.
too.
I'll be taking the information back to the service co-op tomorrow. I don't see any reason they couldn't have it on Friday.
Okay, because I think that would be helpful for us to get
Yes, it
That's-
would.
ahead of time.
That's my promise today.
Okay.
There you go. Somebody write that down. Are the cameras on?
I think he's getting
Okay.
videotaped, yeah.
Okay.
He's
That way you can
guilty.
look at it over the weekend if you'd like.
Yeah,
That's
I
great.
think that gives us some
Great
extra time.
suggestion.
No, for one, I'm excited. This list here, I mean, I think there's some strong candidates on this list, so I'm excited to get going. So, anything else for us?
Anything else for
Nothing
me?
else?
This isn't until Wednesday, so if we got the packets on.
Right, so like that, we're gonna get on this Friday, and then
We have more than-
we'll have it
more
all
than
until
one
next
day.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
All
If I
right,
deliver them on Friday, you can look at them pick them up and look at them over the weekend, or else you can wait until Tuesday to do it too.
Sure,
Because you
yeah.
still have Tuesday before the Wednesday interview.
okay. All right. All right, I'll entertain a
Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
The first and seconded, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Right.